Every year, U.S. landfills and trash incinerators receive 167 million tons of garbage. More than 50% of typical municipal garbage set out at the curb is compostable. According to Infographics web article, compost impacts more than you think. My name is Taylor, and today I'm going to inform you about composting. I'm going to inform you about what composting is, how composting works, and how composting impacts the environment. So what is composting? According to NRDC's web article, Composting 101, composting is a natural process of recycling organic matter, such as leaves and food scraps, into a valuable fertilizer that can enrich soil and plants. When recycled scraps are decomposed, this end result often looks like a fertilized soil. This is compost. Now that I have informed you on what composting is and what it typically looks like, let's discuss how composting works. So how does composting work? Composting happens because these microorganisms that we naturally find in the soil do their work. Some of these microorganisms include earthworms and soil insects such as ants, snow bugs, beetles, and others. But these microorganisms that decompose waste need 4 key elements in order to do their work efficiently. These 4 key elements are carbon, nitrogen, air, and water. According to Leslie Cooperman at the University of Wisconsin-Madison's article, The Art and Science of Composting, because all compostable waste contains carbon, using the best carbon to nitrogen ratio, as well as air and water, is ideal to achieve best results. When you have excessive amounts of carbon in your area, you can experience your area to become more dry, and this may even take longer to break down waste. But when you have excessive amounts of nitrogen in your area, you can experience too much moisture, and your area can even become slimy textured and have odors. Whether you have too much carbon or nitrogen, too much of one can affect the speed and time of decomposition. Another key factor to keep in mind is temperature. Stated by NRDC's web article Composting 101, the optimal peak temperature for aerobic composting is 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Other important key factors that include in composting, whether you are at home or in other areas, are moisture content, size, location, and airflow. Now that I have informed you how composting works and the important factors, let's move on to how composting impacts the environment. So how does composting impact the environment? Stated by the EPA Sustainable Management of Food, in 2018, Americans recovered over 69 million tons of municipal waste through recycling and 25 million tons through composting. Also stated by the EPA Sustainable Management of Food, compostable waste generates a greenhouse gas called methane. By composting waste instead of throwing it away, methane emissions can be significantly reduced. And this is because methane is found to absorb carbon out of the atmosphere. Another reason composting can impact the environment is it can take placement of a chemical fertilizer, and it can also save you money. So not only will you not be buying a chemical fertilizer, you can also save money. In other areas, composting can prevent less waste is according to MDI's Sustainability, Waste Management through Composting, Challenges and Potentials. Composting can also prevent less waste that is found dumped in oceans, waterways, roadsides, land, and even burned. Today, I have informed you about composting. This included what composting is, how composting works, and how composting impacts the environment. Composting can be a great step in taking care of our planet Earth. Thank you.